and furious. As we see these two superbly conditioned, it seems to me, young fighters firing at each other. Vin coming in there with a low kick rather high on the leg. Both men, I think, yet to find the range at this stage of the fight.
Well, they've both sent in some heavy techniques already. Vin landed a low kick. Paul landed a hard side kick and a roundhouse kick to the midsection.
Backed up. I did not think we'd see this early in the fight that Vin has backed up his man at the ropes and now seems to be forcing him backwards. This really does seem to be a new Vin Lai. I mean, from the last time I've seen him fight, he seems to have made great improvements in his technique and also in his mental application.
He does, but when the action's this fast early in the fight, you have to go with the experienced man. You have to think that he can handle it more because he's already been through it.
Certainly, Lenihan's keeping a cool head at this stage when many others might have been intimidated by Lai's ferocity. And I think that Vin appreciates he's got a worthy opponent and he's making every effort to try to end the evening early. Another sharp exchange of low kicks. Lenihan on the attack. I think Vin has perhaps realised he's facing a really extremely competent foe.
There we went just a second ago. That was the roundhouse kick to the head that I said you've got to watch.
Right. And you would know, Howard.
It's a very powerful technique. If he catches Lai with his guard down, then he'll be in trouble.
Do you think that Lenihan has any weaknesses in his... Your fight with him went the whole distance. In retrospect, do you see any weaknesses in his technique which could be exploited?
He could be a more powerful puncher, but he's got exceptional footwork and speed. And he's a good thinking fighter also.
Looking at Vin, I think we're looking at somebody who is a superb leg man. He's also, I think, markedly improved his low kicking technique. And I think the main point with him is going to be whether he's conditioned himself thoroughly enough to stand up this test with such a talented young fighter.
Vin's punching's much better, but I noticed that he keeps changing stance. And I hope, as I said in the earlier bout, that he knows what he's doing. As we just saw there with the hook kick, he's got excellent technique.
And they really are mixing it up. Lenihan keeping a very cool head here. He really is a cool customer, isn't he, Howard?
Very cool. It's very hard to ruffle him. Very hard. I know fighters more experienced than him who get ruffled quicker.
And again, these incredible kicking combinations, but Lenihan is not at all, as Howard says, not at all ruffled by them. He just tips the other man over. Oh, that right roundhouse again, that right round kick that Howard was mentioning earlier, slamming into the arms of Vin. And already it seems that Vin Lai's work rate has decreased slightly.
He actually looks to be a little bit marked to me, but he's still firing his shots well. I really admire the way that he's improved his technique, especially his punches.
It's really quite extraordinary because, I mean, I don't know his full official record, but in my experience he's won one fight and lost several and has spent long periods away from the game, and now he really seems to have applied himself to his training in the past few months.
Well, it's normal that when fighters feel threatened, that's when they produce their best, and obviously it's true tonight.
And certainly I don't think it could be a greater threat for Vin Lai at the moment than this both durable and talented fighter from Ireland.
Lenihan's starting to pick him off now, and he's using his footwork, which is much superior to Vin's, much lighter on his feet.
And the end of the second round. How would you score that so far, Howard? Were you one of the judges?
The first round I scored even. That round, towards the end, Lenihan started to pick his shots and he was scoring quite well. On a percentage rate, he's landing a much higher percentage of his techniques.
Vin, a plucky young Vietnamese. He's, by day, works in Hornet Martial Arts store in Birmingham, and by night trains obviously like a madman to develop the kind of techniques that we've seen so far in this fight. Here we go into the third round, and Ricky Lawler getting out of the ring there. His fighter already entering the fray in the centre of the ring. Vin's still coming back gamely. Lenihan as ever, nonplussed by his attack. Once again, that powerful right leg, and then a right hand to the chin. And I think we felt that in the commentary booth, didn't we, Howard?
He's landed several right hands.
And I think we're seeing here not only a newly improved technician in Vinlai, but somebody who's much more durable than he has been in the past, because he's taken some serious shots with the right hand, firing out from the Irish fighter. And we can really see the mettle of this European champion. And the kicking work rate of Vinlai seems to be well down now. Would you say he seems to be tiring at this stage, Howard?
He's definitely flagging. He drops his guard every time he needs a breather. He takes a step back and he drops his guard. Shows his opponent that he's tired. That's where the inexperience shows.
And possibly Lenihan will be taking advantage of that with this laser straight punching that he's firing forward. There we have the end of round 3. And I think we may have reached a turning point in this bout. Howard, how do you feel?
Definitely, Vinlai now is showing signs of flagging. Just looking at him there in the corner, he's shaking his head. I think his corner obviously is asking him if he's all right. He's being brave.
What do you think that Rocky Lawler is telling Paul Lenihan in his corner?
I should imagine he's telling him now to step up the pressure because he's experienced, and that will finally get rid of Vin. There's no way Vin, in the condition that he is, will be able to take another gear change.
Seconds away now for round 4. And Vin putting on a brave show here, firing in 3 successive low kicks, 4, and this doesn't really seem to be damaging. I think this is a very well-conditioned young fighter, the Irishman.
Very experienced, very well-conditioned, very hungry. We know for a fact that Paul Lenihan is not going to flag. He's going to be in condition all the way.
In fact, I think he's getting stronger as the opponent's getting weaker. He's firing in very fast punching combinations then.
He's more warmed up now and he's actually fighting better. He's bobbing and weaving. He's not being defensive. He's looking for shots there. He's looking for more openings.
And one wonders how long Vinlai can survive this kind of punishment. There was I think the camera obscured it, the camera angle obscured it slightly, but there was a round kick to the head connected a few moments ago, I believe.
It looked like it was partially blocked, but no doubt Vin will have felt the effect of that because Paul kicks very hard with that right leg.
Vin clearly running out of steam at this point.
His footwork is practically zero now. He's actually standing wrong. He just changed stance in desperation more than in tactics, I should imagine.
And the guard is continually coming down. And surely, against a fighter as skilled and as effective as Lenihan, this indicates the end may well be near.
There we go again. He's dropped his guard again to take a breather. All this does is to encourage Lenihan.